Hi, ever wonder what it's like to work another profession or live in the underworld? Listen to unsuspecting riders give a 10 to 15 minute personal masterclass as I spontaneously interview them as they enter my taxi. I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles. Morning. Yes, we're back with another rider, another episode, another beautiful rider, all the way from the Caribbean. She's part of the great islands in the Caribbean. I won't say anything more, so I'll get told off again. She's already told me off for being from the Jamaican island. But anyway, she's very beautiful and she does a number of things, and designing, fashion, film, network. I will let her tell all. So nice to have you here today, lovely nurse.
Hello. Hi. So what would you like to know?
Well, tell us about what you do. Tell us about what you're part of.
Oh, okay. So where do I even start? I am British Caribbean. I am fiercely Trini to the bone. That's my thing. So everything that I do is around culture, music. It's just, I want to, someone has to do it. I'm involved with Notting Hill Carnival as well. Okay. So putting on, the trucks, the costumes.
So you wear the costumes and dance?
Yeah, well, we have costumes, designed and made every year. And basically the reason I got involved in doing this is that Trinidad being one of the best carnivals in the world, which actually today would have been Carnival Tuesday if it wasn't cancelled. So just saying. So I got taken very young by my mum, and she let me play mass, which, as a very young woman or girl, it left a massive impression on me. And basically I wanted to bring that same experience here, and that's what I've been trying to do all these years, and just trying to make it accessible, not just to people who are already. You don't need to sell the music and culture and food back to Caribbean people. They're already bought into it. It's trying to expand it beyond that.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Show that it's a friendly place to be.
Yeah.
What do you think about the old mayor who's trying to move it to Hyde Park?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
It has its
colonialisation again, exactly. So I actually worked with the official organisers a few years back and sat, amongst the councillors, a representative from Mayor London, the Met Police, all these guys. And to be honest, they're just, I'm not going to apologise for this, but it's a bunch of old white men who have zero understanding of the importance of how, Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival came about. And they forget that it's something that a lot of people volunteer their time. We don't get paid to do this. There's barely any budget, but yet they get almost 2 million people into the capital, and they make almost 200 million in 2 days that goes back into the economy, and there's nothing like it. So when they talk about, policing costing, however many millions, 5-6 million, it's just you spend that on football matches, likes of Glastonbury, the rest of it, where it's ticketed event, and you know where the money's going. But it certainly doesn't come back into the community that makes it happen. And it's just trying to change.
Not youth clubs or anything.
No, it's all left down to a very a small niche of people who are from all the islands. It's not just the Caribbean. You've got African countries, you've got even European, and just there are a few. There's a handful of there's a handful. I mean, there's 80 like bands, when I say bands, like the trucks, which are predominantly all the Caribbean islands, and they all predominantly play, you know, soca. But there's also about 40 sound systems, and, you know, we live in Britain, and music is so diverse. So it's literally, there's music for everyone. Everything. Yeah. There's everything. There could be house, Afrobeat, garage, hip hop, like you name it. There is literally a sound system. And then there's like the steel pan, and then there's live stages. So there's so much. It's such a massive melting pot. And it's honestly, it's the one time here in London where people are actually genuinely just happy, and they're smiling, and they kind of just let themselves go and go with the flow. They'll eat food that they won't necessarily try, you know. Yeah. They'll, you know, have a very different experience. And it's really down to the agenda of the Metropolitan Police and, you know, media and the residents who forget that Carnival has been there for 60 plus years, and they've only come along after that fact. And because now their properties are worth millions, they want, you know, us out. But they forget that when they were recruiting, you know, the Commonwealth Islands, like my parents, the first generation to come here and rebuild Britain, they put them in places like Notting Hill, which was slum. And they don't want to hear that. And they forget that in order for us to swallow our history, the Caribbean people did what they knew best, and that was just try and party and have a good time and actually, you know, connect and be together, and share, you know, that love for music and dancing and just that kind of unity. And that's the whole premise of it. So I think it's really quite disgusting and short-sighted of, you know, the individuals who, might I say, always put pressure. They're always putting pressure. And it comes back to your question about, you know, the Mayor of London trying to move it into Hyde Park. It's like, well, why would you do that when the significance, you know, exactly, and how, you know, that actual history of that, why would you try and move it into, you know, a space that is controlled, you know? And then who then has the autonomy over that? Is it the people who actually makes Carnival happen? No, it will be the Mayor of London, and then they'll outsource it, and then there'll be you know, corporates who will line their pockets from it. So yeah, it's a massive bone of contention, has always been. And it's something that, you know, obviously I'm really passionate about. And if I don't do it, then, you know, I'm not just saying it's me, there's, you know, many people like myself who want to keep, you know, Carnival as authentic as possible. And we want to change that narrative. We want to change it because it's really quite disheartening. Like, you spend an entire year, you know, working towards putting that on, and then the media can come along and just literally rubbish it in an instance. And that that really doesn't sit well with us. So and that also has a knock-on effect with you know, when you're trying to get sponsorship. As I was saying, we don't get paid to do this. So when you're trying to approach them, they're pretty much like, well, they back off, because they're like, oh, how, if something happens, and if something happens, exactly the effect. So it's a vicious cycle, and it's about trying to change, you know, that negative perception. And, you know, when you really look at it, what they're saying is that people of colour can't be trusted. That's what that really comes down to. And that does not sit right with me at all. And it shouldn't sit right with anyone, you know. And that's why I feel like we can't, like, if we can't progress in something like that, and people don't know the full kind of, you know, facts. When I'm saying to you, like, you know, and I don't even know, like, the actual, you know, figure, but if that's bringing in that amount of people into London, I mean, I can tell you stats from just what we do. We have people literally coming in from all over the world to come and, you know, experience Carnival.
Yeah, I used to work in Carnival.
Right.
We used to sell beer. We come with a 7.5 ton.
Right.
When we were selling the beer.
Right.
We used to make, what was it? I think one day we made 29,000.
There you go. Everyone has an opportunity.
But then the police cut down on us 1 year and they took the van.
Well,
then they said, right, you can have the van back, but you can't sell anymore.
Right.
So we were trying to sell out dustbins, but it wasn't working.
But that's the thing. Everyone becomes an entrepreneur, right?
My thing was, they didn't want us there. They didn't, as in originally, they didn't want us, the Caribbeans, even though the Queen's asked us to come over.
Right.
And it was like, it's just a coon thing, doing your own party. And now, because they realise there's money,
of course,
suddenly now, oh yes, come on, let's.
Yeah.
And all that kind of thing. And they're saying you have to have a license to sell beer. So well, you can't get a license for the weekend. Well, that's not our problem.
Yeah.
But such is life. Such is life. We live and learn in the unity.
I think, you know, if anything, that amongst our own community, we need to be stronger together. And you know, I know, like, we were just joking when, you know, you asked me where I'm from, and like, you know, you're saying you're Jamaican. There is a general kind of, amongst Caribbeans, we need to be a little bit more united, and
we need to
be united and stop acting like crabs in a barrel.
The only thing that separated us, is the fact that we were dropped on different islands.
Sure.
We all come over on the same slave ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, what have you.
Yeah.
So we're the one people, but I can't sorry about that.
That's all right.
We're the one people. So I'm just having to do a U-turn because Carl's putting up his roadblocks, which I don't think the residents realise. Yeah, but so we have to change. We have to move on. We have to do better. In that respect. If people want to join in Carnival or wear one of your costumes, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can come and follow us or find us at United Colours of Mass, and that's UCOM Carnival, and you'll be able to find us.
Spell that for listeners.
So that would be UCOM and then Carnival, CARNIVAL. And you can find us on all social media, and you'll see all the videos, and you'll see exactly, you know, an authentic Caribbean carnival. And that's all islands, not just one island. We literally we'll bring DJs from all of the islands to play, because there's different, like, people think, well, it's just one music. No, it's not. There's like in soca, or just like, you know, in dance or reggae, there's like additional kind of genres of, you know, influences in that music. And and we have been trying to bring artists over and, you know, really kind of showcase our music, the talent, like just everything. We're trying to elevate like what we do, and I think it's an amazing art form, and honestly it's like one of them. It's like how can I explain? A free counselling session over 2 days, where you can literally just forget about everything, dance it out, and just, you know, like, we work so hard and we're constantly in this kind of rat race, right? And it just gives you an opportunity to meet amazing people from all over the world.
Okay, that's good. So thanks. Oh, one last question.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 2 questions.
Okay.
What did you learn over the years of doing Carnival that you wish you knew when you started?
Wow. Someone did try to say to me that that once I get involved in the level that, you know, that I am, would I fall out of love with it? And I couldn't understand what they meant, but it's the politics. it's honestly, it's the politics that is so draining. It's so, this fight year in, year out, it's just that constant battle to keep, you know, what we're doing. And it's just that uncertainty. Some, you know, they just don't realize how much goes into it. It's not just your time, but it's also the resources and, you know, actually making those intricate costumes and the logistics of, you're talking 45-foot trucks, and we've got like 4 of them, and it's like, you know, building those and making sure that our music is heard at its, you know, at its best, and just the safety and the food aspect and just every detail they don't realize, and just dangling that kind of uncertainty in front of us. It's just, it's,
still have love for it.
well,
Look at your eyes.
I know, but I have to, because if I don't have it, then what? Like, that's the only thing that keeps me going in this country. Look at the weather right now.
Yeah, that's what
I literally would be in Trinidad right this moment.
No one comes to England for the weather.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know, so we have to create those things that make us happy, and that's what, you know, I try and do through the events that I'm involved, you know, that I curate, and the concerts, and, you know, just bringing that bit of home to here to people who, you know, that's what they want, and they want to keep that alive and keep it authentic and keep it going for however many generations, hopefully, because I find there are some of the younger generation who have no interest. I don't know if they've lost or don't even know who they are anymore.
It happens. It happens in any society when you mix and blend. It's like you get, for instance, African descent, African children here who don't speak the language, and you think, why wouldn't you? But then you've got Caribbeans who are trying to scraping at the surface to find their heritage.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, how can you not know what tribe you are, or not know your language, or not know these things? These are vital for you to know.
I know, but we were never taught that.
Yes,
and it wasn't in the interest to teach the truth, you know?
I'm not saying it in that respect.
Yeah.
What I'm saying it is in the respect of, he who has it doesn't know what to do with it. He who doesn't have it knows what to do with it. In that respect of things. So, it's just like that. It's just like that. And the other question is,
Okay.
what's the impact you want to have on the world?
Oh, that's wow. I mean, besides anything to do with like carnival, anything like that, I think this is quite it's not a simple one to answer, but as a woman of colour, and even though I'm British born, I have had to fight every aspect of my life, like everything. Like it hasn't come easy. Nothing's been handed to me on a plate. I want to absolutely, all of the businesses that I'm like involved in, and any projects, I actually want to give back my skills, experience in helping, you know, generations, like younger generations, like myself, you know, in the Caribbean community, whether it's the Asian community. What I'm basically saying is that I want to give back to people of colour, and I want to build businesses that go directly back into not upskilling, just giving them that kind of insight that I was never afforded. Like, I've worked for so many corporate companies, and I've gone in, and the way that I've been treated, or even down to going into interviews, and when they call out my name, the way that they were like, oh, they don't expect this, they don't expect me. You know, it's that those constant kind of everyday battles. And, you know, I've seen how in so many industries, it's okay to keep us just here. And when I say here, it's like, always, and that was it. After my last corporate job, I was like, enough. I never want to ever work for a corporate company ever again. Thank you, I got my experience, but now I'm going to take that and I'm going to build businesses that will go back. Ultimately, I want to go to the Caribbean. It's not just Trinidad, it could be other islands, because every time I visit an island and I ask about the economy and who is there, and when what they're reliant on, and majority is tourism, it's a big American company or a big British company who's there taking their resources and then giving them back jobs and making them feel like it's they should be grateful. So I just want to be a decent human being. I just want to give that.
I just want to be loved.
No, it's not about love. It's about give. It's genuinely. It's just a very simple thing. I think if you give them, I can take what I've learned here, and to the I guess to that corporate kind of level, but without being, like how corporates run. They'll take their taxes and they'll just, there's only a handful of people who actually line their pockets, because they don't, as I say, they don't want us to prosper. Mm-hmm. They don't want us to do that. And that's exactly how it is. I see, I'm all too aware both my parents are from, Commonwealth, islands, and they were sold a lie. They were told, come. And they almost think like, oh, well, we got a British passport. Well, what does that mean? What does that actually really mean? Because nothing really changed. We're a firstborn generation here. Mm-hmm. And I don't see any real kind of progress or change. I don't see that. I don't see it in education, the education that I got here. I don't see it in people's attitudes. You can go up and down the country into smaller towns and cities, and the way that you are looked at and the way that you're treated.
Is that just a race thing, or is it like a demographics thing? And why I say that is because I've travelled and worked throughout this country.
Yeah.
And I could show you places in Wales, where it's all white, mm-hmm. and it's all just working class.
Yeah.
So I would say they've kind of gone on the assumption now that if you're not in a certain 1% or look like your potential for 1%, we're going to keep the boot on you. Do you see what I mean? Or you're giving me the eyes?
I'm not originally from London, so I'm from the south coast, and it was deep. And it's not even, Southampton is not even a small city. It's quite a big, and it's got 2 universities. It was a place that a lot of immigrants went to because of job opportunities as well. But yet it's still very deeply racist.
What, Southampton?
Yeah,
but Southampton's quite different from London. But
of course, and that's why I came to London, because there is it is so much more diverse, and you could literally, on the street or where you choose to live, you could literally be living next to anyone.
I live next to very wealthy people, believe it or not. There's like 5 Porsches in my street, and I was thinking, really?
Yeah.
And I'm driving the taxi, but still, that's life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that's when you live in Wandsworth. Because when I was in East London, that wasn't the case. There was fights all the time and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
going on.
But I get that. I mean, I've been in London like 21 years now. Wow, I've been here 21 years, and I moved from Southampton, South London. Yeah. The worst part is like the worst.
Where did you move to in South London first? Where did you move to Brixton or Peckham?
I live in Newcastle.
Oh, yeah, that's where I used to live.
No, it's terrible. I'm sorry, it was terrible.
With the big hay gates.
I went to university there. Yeah. I tried to go to university and that did not work out for me.
College of...
No, South Bank.
Oh, South Bank.
Yeah.
Oh, I went South Bank.
Yeah, South Bank, and it was just, I got, oh my God, like, yeah, that's a whole other story. That was just people trying to take my handbags, people trying to take my phone. I got assaulted on campus. Someone tried to drag me into their car. Oh my God, it was. It's not even exactly like you're laughing, but this is like serious.
Welcome to South London.
Right, but that was. Can you imagine?
Can I ask you something? Was you holding your phone like walking down a street? Thank you.
No, I came out of the station broad daylight, actually telling someone I should be home in 5 minutes. If I'm not, as I was saying that, the guy swung for me to try and take my phone. And I was just trying to tell them because it's so dangerous. Yeah, but this is 20 years ago. Come on.
Okay, well,
like, come on. No, things were very different back then. And the thing is, he didn't even get the phone. It dropped on the floor.
And then he just ran.
Well, he was on his bike, so he couldn't even get down to get it. Yeah, idiot.
See, now if he had done a U-turn to turn around and get it, then I
would have kicked him off his bike.
That's the problem, because he doesn't mind getting in the confrontation.
Yeah, I know he doesn't.
So,
I realise this.
If he drops the phone,
yeah.
If the phone drops and he carries on going, you could say he's a coward sniper in that sense.
Well, to me, it was like,
yeah.
Was it worth all of that? You didn't even get anything in the end,
It'll catch you tomorrow. You know, some people. I shouldn't laugh.
No, and now you wonder.
I've been born and bred in South London, so I know how it goes.
Yeah, and that's what made me kind of go, okay, I need to move. And then I moved to North London, and then I moved to West, and then I was like, yeah, West is best.
How did you find North London? Don't tell me you moved to Tottenham.
No, I moved Finsbury Park.
Okay.
That was borderline. It depends where you live in Finsbury Park. Like, well, back then, again, things are so different now.
Yeah.
There's so much difference. There's so much gentrification going on in and it's not even just, I don't know, that. I just don't understand how the university thought it was okay to build halls of residence smack bang in where it was. It just
remember this. I used to be a site manager. Mm-hmm. So I dealt with town planners and all of that. Remember, there's a 15, 20 year, even 40 year plan. Mm. So if you go to when they go to the local authority and say we want to build this, they say, yeah, that works with our plan for so many years. You want to build it a bit earlier? Fair enough. Do you see what I mean? What's your security plan where you look to sort that out?
Zero. Nothing. Who knows? I don't care anymore. I just don't recommend that university.
I love that university. That's where I
really?
graduated from.
I couldn't. I tried a year there and that was it.
But mind you, I was talking to, like where I was at the branch on Wandsworth Road, where is more not far from where the American Embassy is now. Oh right, okay, yeah. So back in the day, that area was a whole other ball game.
Oh right.
All the way down to where the MI6 building is.
Okay.
So that was like
okay.
That was really thing. But then most of London was, I can tell you, East London, places in East London that is just like Canning Town, Silvertown. That was a hardcore pikey area. All these kind of things, a whole different ball game.
I mean,
NF, National Front.
Well, that's why I left Southampton, because that was what was going on there back then. It was like NF and all of this. So I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Okay.
To then, and then I was in North London University, which is on Holloway Road. So I don't know if you get any better than that. I can say that I really experienced London, like very much so.
But you still haven't left, or you're still with us?
I'm only just.
Where are you going to go? Back to Southampton?
No.
Okay then.
No, I'm going to go to the Caribbean. I told you that's my plan. I'm going to go and build an empire and let, like, a real one that was going to go back to people.
Law and order.
Yes.
You have to employ and free healthcare.
Exactly.
Okay. We hope you liked that interview. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to get the latest daily episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economy and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources? Then listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you will hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m.